Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We have 2 monologues left in Locrine before we're done with this one and we move on to the next play. And one of those that you'll get to hear today is from Guendoline in Act 5, Scene 5. And this is the very end of the play. So Guendoline and Thrasymachus beat Locrine and his army, and rather than be taken captive, he killed himself. And then Estrad killed herself because she didn't want to be without him. And then Sabran tried to kill herself but wasn't able to do so, which is fine. And then Guendoline and Thrasymachus came in, and Gwendoline's like, I gotta kill somebody, and Thrasymachus is like, we're too late, they're already dead on the ground here. And Guendoline is like, but who's that crying over there? And it's Sabran, who's mourning the loss of her parents, and Guendoline is like, I'm gonna kill you is what I'm gonna do. She grabs Sabran by the neck and is like, I'm gonna kill you. And Sabran's like, no, because that's gonna lead to just more revenge seeking, so I'm gonna take care of this myself. And she throws herself into a river and drowns. At which point Guendoline says, one mischief follows another's neck. Who would have thought so young a maid as she, with such a courage, would have sought her death? And for because this river was the place where little Sabran resolutely died, Sabran forever shall this same be called. And as for Locrine, our deceased spouse, because he was the son of mighty Brute, to whom we owe our country, lives, and goods, he shall be buried in a stately tomb close by his aged father Brutus' bones, with such great pomp and great solemnity as well beseems so brave a prince as he. Let Estrad lie without the shell of vaults, without the honor due unto the dead, because she was the author of this war. Retire, brave followers, unto Troynovant, where we will celebrate these exequies and place young Locrine in his father's tomb. And that's the end of Act 5, Scene 5. So what she's saying is, how sad that Sabran threw herself in the river, and who thought that she would have had the guts to do it? But since she was so brave, we're going to name this river after her. So it's actually the Severn River in England is supposedly named after this Sabran. And then she's like, okay, Locrine deserves a decent burial because his dad was Brutus, and we owe him a lot for that, and we owe Brutus a lot for that. So yeah, sure, Locrine can have an actual burial, but Estrad, not so much. Just let her body lie there, and whatever happens to it, happens to it. She doesn't get an actual funeral. She doesn't get an actual burial because it's her fault that we fought this war in the first place. And then she's like, okay, come on, everybody, let's go back and bury Locrine and move on with our lives. And that's the end of Act 5, Scene 5. So tomorrow we're going to get to hear from Ate in an epilogue, because, of course, Ate was doing sort of a prologue to each act. It makes sense that Ate gets to do an epilogue to the whole thing. So we'll get to hear what Ate says about the whole play, and we'll do a little bit of a wrap up, and then the day after we'll move on to the next play, which I believe is The London Prodigal. But come on back tomorrow for a wrap up of Locrine. I will see you then. Mwah.